She is.
Hey there.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fucking phenomenal. It's a
That's
wonderful day in
good.
California and just
Nice.
loving life.
That's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah. How are you?
Good, hanging
Yeah.
in here on the East Coast, it's starting to become fall. So it's
God, I love
it's
it.
one of my favorite times of year
It
because
is my
the
favorite
leather
time of
jackets
year.
come back in.
What part of the East Coast are you on?
I'm right outside New York City right now.
Oh, you
So
are. I just
yeah.
visited there in July.
Oh, nice.
Fucking phenomenal. It was such a great time. Like we went to Statue of Liberty. It was like my first time there with my family.
Oh,
And
cool.
then we went to see the Statue of Liberty, and then we took the subway and we came out and it was fucking flooded. Like it was raining like no other.
Oh yeah.
And it
Yep.
was
That
fun.
was
Like I
no one
never
was
experienced that.
expecting that.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
and we're just literally walking through Central Park, stupid, right? At like 9 o'clock at night, with pouring rain.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit, we
Right.
are in New York. Better get out of Central Park.
Right. Yeah. Usually, I mean, Central Park is amazing. I haven't really hung out there past, 9 o'clock. So
So we just saw like
so
people
good for
sleeping
you.
there, and
Yeah.
you see some shady people, and you're like, we gotta get out of here.
The park changes as the hours change.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do. Um, are you a sports fan by any chance?
I am. Which sport?
Football.
Yes.
What's your team?
A shitty one.
Oh, probably the Jets then.
Well, no, the Giants are sucking pretty badly right now.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm also primarily I'm a huge hockey fan and a
Oh
huge
yeah.
soccer fan
You
as
are.
well. So, I mean, soccer, my team's okay, but all the New York sports teams like my Rangers are making me sad already so early, and it hasn't even really started yet. And what are you gonna do? You still gotta love your teams.
I know. My family's from the western part of New York,
Okay.
and I'm a Buffalo Bill fan, so I know
Oh,
all about losing.
well, you guys have been strong. I mean, last season you guys were great.
I
So,
know.
I mean, yeah.
I
So there's
cried.
hope.
I cried
I
when we lost.
I mean, a lot of people did. A lot of, I mean, we
Yeah.
were rooting for you. I was rooting for you. So, you know.
Well, we're here with Madame Mayhem. We're talking about your art, and it's an amazing lineup of work you have already.
Thank you.
And in particularly, we are celebrating "I Am More," the single.
Yes. Yes.
How do you feel about it?
I'm so excited that this song is out. We've been waiting, like my team and I have been waiting. We wanted to release it before COVID happened. And then as that happened, we were like, this probably isn't the right moment to do this. But this song means so much to me. And I know I say that about all my songs. It's kind of like, you love all your children. Like these songs are my children, but this song, it really speaks to self-empowerment and really rising above all the stressors and people who bring you down on a daily basis, which I feel a lot in this industry and just in life, and I know other people feel it too. And so the song, the way it just kind of came out, was very therapeutic for me. And I was just the second Keith Wallen and I wrote it, I knew, I was like, this song has to come out. I'm so excited for everyone to hear it. And it's finally out. And I'm thrilled. I'm very thrilled.
I enjoy the song. I really
Thank
do.
you.
I love the visuals of it, especially as well.
Thank you very much.
I have a question about it.
Yeah.
Is this coming from a point of people putting you inside of a box? And
For sure.
It is okay. Because that's how I interpret it as a consumer. Is it more about the industry, or is it more about dating, or is it general?
I mean, honestly, it's a general statement, but I definitely channeled my inner frustrations with the industry when I was writing it. not to say I was having a problem at the time. I was actually, Keith and I wrote this song actually after a very positive moment in my career, where I had literally just completed a couple of shows at the Machine Shop in Michigan with Seven Dust, and I got to sing Licking Cream with them, and it was like an amazing high, and it was amazing. And then literally like crack of dawn next morning, I went to go write with Keith in Tennessee, and so I was not awake, but I had so much energy, and I was on cloud nine. And then we just started writing, and all of a sudden, like, something kind of turned, and we're trying to figure out what to write about. And I was like, honestly, the whole industry, and how, I'm a female artist, and they kind of like to clump us, you're a female fronted band, cool, you're all sound the same. It's like, no, we really don't. I've listened to a bunch of female fronted art bands that aren't myself, and they're all, I mean, the ones that I jam out to, obviously I think they're amazing and they're awesome, but we don't sound the same. We don't have the same voices. We're not even in the same like subgenre or whatever you call it. So to be put in that box of being a female artist is frustrating. And I mean, there's not a male rock genre, it's just rock. And then you have obviously it's cool for people who respect that there's female artists out there. I appreciate that, but to be put in this box and being told like, this is what you're supposed to do because you're a female artist, or this is how you're supposed to be because you're a female, and show your cleavage more, or do this because it's like, no, I'm an artist, and I'm a singer, and I'm a songwriter, and yes, I do happen to wear cool things on stage that I love, that happen to sometimes show that kind of stuff, but it's not, for me, it's not a marketing ploy. It's just how I am, and how I like to be on stage, and being put in this box in the industry is frustrating and difficult. And I'm happy now that there's more awareness about, people are kind of figuring out that maybe that wasn't the right thing to do initially, but it's definitely frustrating. And then also being told, I'm a new artist, and like being like kind of excused because of that. It's like, oh, you're not, don't expect this to happen to you. You're a new artist, or don't expect this. And it was getting frustrated. It was getting really frustrating for me, especially coming off of this amazing few shows that I got to do with this amazing band. I was like, look, this is possible for me. And then being told again by, I will not name names, but being told by other people in the industry, people who, I was trusting and things like that, saying like, well, don't get used to that. You're a new artist. Things like aren't supposed to happen with you. And it's like, no, like this is working. This is happening. I'm able to do it. And so I think the song was really, instead of coming from a place where I was so low, it was coming from a place of, look, this actually happened for me. Like, F you, like, look, like that, like that shows you like that, people, the underdogs can succeed and are continuing to succeed and are able to do the things they want to do. So it was a very sassy kind of song, and kind of in the lyrics, like people are trying to knock you down again, and you just keep getting up. And that's how I really felt. I really felt empowered while writing this song.
That is awesome. And that's, yeah, I have a daughter, and these are the kind of lessons I want her to know.
Absolutely.
You are more, honestly, like, you are more, and screw them. And go get your shit, break grounds. You don't have to fall into a box to 100%. Be amazing, because the amazing you don't need people,
to follow the rules.
The amazing people don't have rules. The people who are 100%. Okay, they're just in the box. And fuck being okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's hard because, you're being told all the time, whether it's regular life or, in the industry, you're like, oh, well, if you really want to make it, you should really like associate yourself with whatever they think you're supposed to be, right? Like someone will tell you, oh, you hang out like this band, it's like, well, can I just do what I want to do? Or can I just, keep doing what I'm doing? And if it ends up working, wonderful. And if it doesn't, that's on me. It's not because I'm trying to fit something that someone thinks the world needs right now. It's what I think I need right now. And hopefully there are people out there who feel like they're outcasts and that they don't fit in this box and they don't want to fit in this box, that that I can reach out to and relate to. And it's just as important to me to hear from them as it is for me to give these songs to them.
That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that from you.
Oh, thanks.
When did you sort of realize, like, I'm a musician?
Forever. There was no it's funny. This sounds silly, but ever since I was born, I knew I was meant to do this, but it's true. My parents, saw it from a really young age in me, and I was just begging them for singing lessons, dancing lessons, acting lessons. I was writing my own lyrics as soon as I could write, and I was just begging them to get me into classes, and then I was begging them to get me into auditions for shows because I'm in the New York area. So, musical theaters where they usually throw kids who want to sing first before they do anything else. We didn't really have like School of Rocks around, back when, I was growing up. So I started in musical theater and opera because I was like, I want to be a singer. And then I was writing my own stuff on the side and listening to hard rock and heavy metal and grunge while I was growing up.
Is it
but this was always the path.
Be in that lane in New York? Like hard, heavy metal, rock?
I mean, we're around, but it's a very niche market. And I think as I got older and I was finally able to create my band and be old enough to play these rock clubs, like they were already closing down. So that was hard. There's still a scene here. They're definitely in New Jersey, like in like high school, I was driving out to, those emo shows and all that kind of stuff. And, then going to the Lower East Side. Yeah. And then going to the Lower East Side. And then there's all these awesome rock clubs. And I mean, it's still here. It's just not as mainstream as it once was. It's now more of a niche thing, which is totally fine, because by the time I grew up and was able to do this for real, it had become that. So, I wasn't old enough to in its heyday when it was more pronounced, but we're all still here, there are still rockers around, Yeah.
What is the first step you took into like, all right, I am a musician now? What was the next step after you like, this is what I want to do?
Well, it depends. So starting off as a kid to start my training. Oh, band wise. Okay. So I was writing songs, and I was actually writing a lot of rock, but I was also writing pop, whether it was for other people or myself. And I was just writing. Right. And I was in University of Miami at the time, a musical theater and vocal performance major, because they didn't have like a rock major over there. But I was writing and recording like almost every weekend. And I just knew this is what I wanted to do. And I got to meet a few producers and try out different songwriters over the years, and just seeing what kind of fit. And, I wrote this, it's funny, I wrote this pop song that did pretty well. But I was still Madame Mayhem because that was the name my parents kind of gave me, and I loved it, and it kind of stuck. And so, and I still had the rock vibe. Like I was never a pop person. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just, I was never that person. I've always been the outcast. I've always been, that's just, I've always loved hard rock and metal. And from writing, I was like, just because I can write for multiple genres, which is what I was doing just to kind of practice. I after that song came out and it did well, I was like, wait, this isn't what I actually want to do. I want to, spill my guts and do like hard rock and kind of be real with what I'm doing. So I took a step back actually after that and started writing with a few other producers and finding my rock voice, which you can kind of hear through my beginning albums to now. Like I really think I've found, exactly where I want to be now, but it's definitely an evolution. But I hustled. I went to every like songwriter workshop. I went to anything that I could to meet producers and other songwriters, and I networked. And there was Mark Hudson, who was my first producer for my first full length. He actually threw me on stage in this workshop and was like, see if you can just make things up. We did like a blues basically, and it was a blues thing they were jamming to. And I was like, all right. And this was like the chance to see if I could figure it out. And I was nervous because I'm always used to being very well prepared and, being from the musical theater world. And I just did it. And I just thought about, what I wanted to do and just felt the music and it worked. And so I got his attention. And then from there, I got to meet some other amazing people. And then I finally met Billy Sheehan, who helped me with my second record, he's like my mentor and big brother to me to this day. And he really is the one who got out of me how to, be real and feel in a safe place to be real with what you're saying. Cause it's scary, you're kind of spilling your guts out. But basically the way I got there, I'm just rambling now, but the way I got there is just really just hustling and having a lot of trial and error, like a lot of it. And then some of it stuck and it was great. And I got to meet really cool people through it. Like I got to meet Corey Lowry through Steve Karras, who I met through this woman, Jenny Wett. Like you meet one person, you meet this person, and then you show them what you got. And if they like it, you're on your way. And there's a lot of no's that go with that too. So, the key is to not be discouraged, because everyone's going to say no to you like every day. And then there's going to be like one yes. And you're gonna be like, yeah, but most of it's going to be no. Yeah.
What is the one moment in your career so far that has totally filled your soul? Like, yes, I'm doing it. Yes.
That's a good one. There's been a lot of those moments, which is pretty cool. I'm very fortunate that I've had those moments. I would say walking on stage at Hills of Rock, which is in Bulgaria. We were one of the opening acts on the main stage for Judas Priest. That was cool. And just being, first of all, just backstage with the size of the stage and the size of the festival that it was massive. Like 50,000 people, like something crazy that, us as a band hadn't really played before. And just getting out there and just seeing it and then having all that energy on the stage, it was amazing. It was like, yes, we are finally, where we've been trying to be. And we're finally able to, sing these songs that have been so personal to me, creating them, and I love intimate venues too, because you really can relate to your audience, but having it amplified like so massively, it really, it meant everything, absolutely everything.
That's an amazing moment. So I'm going to start, I'm going to gear it back a little bit. I'm going to start dwindling back for, some funner questions.
Okay.
And let's see where we go. What's your favorite app?
App?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's hard. I'm going to go with currently is Instagram, only because, and I'm not a huge fan of social media, which sounds crazy because I just said Instagram, but I like talking to my fans and stuff. And I do it on Facebook too and Twitter too, but that's the one that like I think I accidentally hit most when I'm checking on things in the morning. Yeah.
Awesome. What's your favorite movie?
Okay, so Sin City is one of them. And I don't know, can I do more than one? Sin City's massive for their cinematography. I love that one. And then this is a pretty messed up one, Clockwork Orange off the book, because I love that book.
Love it.
But I love it. It's so messed up, I know.
I just like go smoke weed and then go into the house and then just watch Clockwork Orange almost every Friday.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
All right. What is on your playlist at this moment? 3 songs.
3 songs. Oh, okay. This is okay. So Mod Sun and Avril Lavigne's song, what is it, like Flames or something like that? I came across it at random and it was just so catchy to me, and it kind of like brought me back to, even though it's a new song, it brought me back to like my teen days listening to Avril Lavigne. So there's that one. I always have a Seven Dust song of some kind on there, so you got that. And I have what's what's the third one I've been listening to lately? I've been listening to so much music. It's like hard to, I've been listening to everything. What is the third one? Oh, this is out of the blue, so get ready for this one. Good Morning from the musical Singing in the Rain, because actually not a lot of people know this, but I have a newborn, and therefore that's what I play for that kid when he first wakes up. And then we go into the hard rock, heavy metal. You know, I get the Incubus I Miss You, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. He gets that one too, but you know, that's the first morning song he gets. So yeah.
When my son was smaller, I have a guitar, and I used to sing to him. Like, I'm not a real religious person, but I used to go to wake him up, because every time I would go, come on, it's time to get up, he didn't want to wake up. So then I would bring the guitar in there and sing Good Morning Jesus. And
nice.
Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Jesus. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It happens. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. All right.
Okay.
I wrote you on Instagram. I went straight to there. So just in case you see. All right, we were at top 3 albums.
It's basically all my album choices are going to be anything from Incubus or Soundgarden. So.
Oh, for real? Incubus is awesome, huh?
I love them. There's, you know, especially, obviously, I'm always like, especially the early stuff, but yeah, I mean, that's, you know, when you fall in love with a band, it's usually whatever album that is, or whatever song that is that makes you love a band is always going to be your favorite. So yeah, I mean, Morning View, Make Yourself, whatever it is. And again, like I mentioned, that song I Miss You was like my favorite, because it's not like one of the most popular ones, and it's just so beautiful and so chill. And yeah.
It is. What is a fantasy concert? Anytime in history, you can go to any part of history and put together anybody from history to make your own fantasy concert. Who would be on that list?
Well, I mean, that's so what you have good questions. That's really hard. You know, there is, I've always regretted not being able to see Chris Cornell live before, you know, he passed. And there were a few opportunities where I was almost able to make it, whether it was one of his solo performances or, you know, or with the band, and something always came up and I wasn't able to go every time. And seeing as his voice was one of the most influential in my life, you know, to be able to see him again for sure would be, or just to see him once, you know, it would be massive. Yeah.
I was going to interview Chester. I had an interview set up prior to his death.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and it really, like, I was like, no, like that was like gonna be a bucket list. And
yep,
literally like 20 days before he passed away, or you know, 20 days, you know, from the day he passed on.
Yeah.
Supposed to be it. But man, yeah, those two really, they made an impact on my life for sure.
Yeah, mine as well. And I think on a lot of people, you know, it was just, you know, they were just such huge influences in rock as it is. And you know, very powerful voices, very powerful people in terms of, you know, the impacts that they had. And so you know, I cried a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny when you cry over people you don't know, but when they've made such a huge impact on your life, you know, you feel like you're so close to them. So yeah, for sure.
I found out Kobe passed away when I was shopping in the store, and I just started crying. Like, that is the one time, like, I cried as if I knew the person.
Yep.
And
yep, it happens. It's crazy, but that's what happens when people, you know, influence your lives in ways I didn't even think, you know, when everyone's like, oh, what's your vocal influences, things like that, you know, I'd like throw his name out there and like, oh, I love his music, blah, blah, blah. But then when it actually happened, I was like, oh, I'm crying. Like, this is devastating, you know. And you never really realize like how huge of the impact it is until, you know, unfortunately things like that happen.
And I guess my last question is, when all is said and done, we're looking 30 years into the future, how do you want the final chapter, or how do you want your final chapter to be written? What do you want there to be said, and what do you want to accomplish?
I just want to keep, performing. Performing is live, is maybe the most comfortable I've ever been on stage. Like I'm always more comfortable on stage than I am in my daily life. And that's kind of my home. And all I ever wanted to do since I was born, as I mentioned, was sing and perform and create music. And so if I can do this until the very, very end, that will be a success for me, no matter what level it is. So, whether I stay where I am or if, people start to know who I am a little more, it's not about that. It's just being able to have the means to be able to do, what I do and perform and do what I love. And that's definitely, what's important to me, besides, of course, my family and that's always priority number one, right? But music has just been my life, since before they even existed. So I just want to do this forever.
I love you. You're awesome. I love your energy.
Thank you.
And I'm so grateful for our time together today, and thank you for being so generous with your time.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I believe in you. You got this.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully we'll talk soon.
We will. I have a feeling we will.
Awesome.
All right.
Have a good one.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.